Okay, I am going to try to cover some things. I don't want to be too repetitious. There are birds and there are beasts of the field that are, and for that matter, there's fish of the sea that is predatory. So just understand that in all the four groups of animals mentioned in the Bible, there's predatory amongst them. There's predatory birds. One of them we call like an eagle, which is like EA, right? See, they keep changing their name around so that the mystery schools can know who they are. It's just like that G, on the Freemason. We're to understand, that means gnosis. Knowledge. Knowledge is our God. Knowledge. Knowledge. Knowledge of good and evil. Knowledge of mostly evil is our God, right? Because otherwise, why would your God ask you to kill someone in your family that you love? Yeah, murder for gain. That's the secret combination from the uh, Book of Mormon. Book of Mormon is fabulous. You can, say anything you want to about the Mormons. I really don't care. Many of them are, trying to do the right thing, but the fish always stinks from the head down, doesn't it? Same as, all the trouble that we have with these people. The problem is some of you, because you're a hive mind, where you get your orders from frequencies and then you all carry them, you become a little bit more dangerous to the race of humans because you only tend to be looking out for your own dirty asses. And we see that when we look at how, you know, uh, militant you become when the subject of your inheritance comes up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I live with a lady whose family, constantly fights, dislikes each other over the fact that, there will be a dividing of inheritances when their mother passes away. And they're already fighting, and they've been fighting for years. They don't agree. They manipulate. They treat her like a child. Anyway, long story short, it's a disgrace. You do realize that we don't care about that. See, Native Americans, like indigenous people originally, they didn't care, about they knew the land was theirs collectively because it was given to them collectively. But they never tried to own their neighbor out of existence and to put them under, you know, uh, some sort of slavery. Okay, but that's what you do. You see, not just you, all you predatory people that in animal form were predators. But see, the distinction that you've been given is that you're all Rh positive now. Because that's the fallen state of mankind. And let me tell you, all you have to do is, like I've done, and sit back and listen to their mouths. And you will figure that out. All you have to do is sit back and watch their actions, and you will figure that out. See, not about race. The white people are definitely not promised this realm, okay? If they were promised this realm, it would have been the cold realm. And you can see that they have now left their boundaries. Do you see what I mean? Japheth, you will have the cold land. Shem, you will have the hot and the cold land. Ham, you will have the hot land. Well, whose land is the land that we call the United States? That's the hot and the cold land. That right there is Shem's land. So if you want to come up the border, you don't belong here. If you want to come down the border, you don't belong here. The melanated people that were here in the origin, talking about the blacks and the browns, okay, and the reds, you know, it's all shades in between. If you are melanated, this is your land. Why? Because you are the ones that have boundaries. You didn't leave your boundary to go and, steal somebody else's land, because your land is primo. Why did you get the primo land? Because you were not beast, predatory beasts, and you were not a being that didn't understand your boundaries. Therefore, you were allowed to live amongst yourselves without the fear of beasts and without the fear of pestilence constantly dogging you. But the Book of Mormon shows you that, okay, all of that comes into play whenever you start following secret societies, secret combinations. The secret about the combination is murder for gain, and that's exactly what the God of Cain offered him the day that he killed his brother. And when he walked off, after killing his brother, he walked off with his sheep. Do you understand? That's biblical. So you can say whatever you want, but us hominid people who get the fact that you're not supposed to eat, but plants. Now you're going to come at me with, well, what about chimpanzees? They will eat meat. They will hunt and eat meat. Yeah, they will. They've been blending with other primates, have they not? Think about it. You are supposed to stay within your boundaries, you see? You're supposed to be married to the people that were given unto you as your tribe, okay? Doesn't matter what the race is. Got nothing to do with, see? They're doing it to me again. See, they can't stand it. You
to think that it has to do with race. Because if you think it's race, then you'll kill off everybody. See, this is Satan's game. This is the game he's been playing with you since the beginning. He knows it's about blood groups, blood types.
This is why my site is Garden of Truth and Lies, and this is why every single one of my videos ever I have entitled ABO Blood Types. Because it's not about race. It's not about race. Though some of you will say, oh, that's all he wants to do is talk about the blood types, like a racist, but like a kind of a blood type racist. Well, I didn't give you your blood type. You earned whatever your blood type is. It gets moved around on occasion based on what you deserve because of karmic law. Okay? The law that has to do with, common law, natural law. And every time we look at one of you bastards that are infringing upon that, we are always seeing the worst side of a race. In white people, it's pretty obvious. See, that's where you can see it the easiest because you see the blue eyes. You see the skin has no pigment in it. It's got no melanation. Okay? Despite all that, you could have come up here from the depths of wherever it was you showed up here from, underneath the earth, because you didn't need the sun to have it down there, but you live like slobs. You live like trash because it's where all the trash goes. It's in the sea, the bottom of the sea, the bottom of the earth. They got to bury the dead bodies somewhere. So I guess you said, well, let's just eat them. You're going to bury them here, we might as well eat them. And usually that's what we see in a dead body. But then your kind came up with, the mighty men of fame. Let's preserve them so we can continue to bring them back. We'll make clones out of them. So they won't really have a soul anymore because they're not really coming through the process the way that it was intended for you to come here, live your life, have a mission, learn a thing or two about the treatment of others, perhaps gain some knowledge about what you might call agape love, the kind of love that you have for a brother or sister that you need to have for a wife or a mother. But you bastards can't seem to have that for your wives because you're pirates. And all you can think about doing is trafficking your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, and your wives. Let me read to you from Enoch. Let's see what Enoch has to say about it. It says, they have rejected my commandments and my yoke. Now, who is this speaking? See, you think this is Anu. But see, I don't believe this is Anu. I think Anu's group is a part of this group. But I think Anu's group is one who is fallen. Certainly, his family members that were sent here are fallen. No question about it. They were fallen before they got here. They came up from under the sea, up from under the earth, from another place, outside the, the dome, outer darkness, I believe is what it's called. See, they don't need no sun out there. So, see, this is where white people came from. But you had an opportunity to come in here and clean your dirty asses up and do right and live by this commandment. And let's see what this so-called, person of authority has got to say about this. Let's hear it. It says, they have rejected my commandments and my yoke. Worthless seed has come up, not fearing God, and they would not bow down to me, but have begun to bow down to vain gods, and denied my unity, and have laden the whole earth with untruth, offenses, abominations, lecheries, namely one with the another, and all manner of unclean wickedness, which are too disgusting to relate. And therefore I will bring down a deluge upon the earth, and I will destroy all men, and the whole earth will crumble together into great darkness. Now, a lot of people say that this is basically, what is it? Enlil acting as Anu. And Enlil does act as Anu here. But Anu is not the top of the mountain, king of the hill, numero uno, blue ribbon around the neck. That's going to be a solar deity because they have souls. Do you understand? That's going to be the deity that was here before these guys, these bastards, got here. So that's going to be, you know, the melanated hominid people who were keeping these dietary laws. Now, it doesn't matter whether a chimp will rip your face off and kill you, you know, they put up with a lot of your crap, just to be honest with you. And, you know, you have to look at the hominids as they were, not what you've turned them into. And everyone here, in some manner, their DNA has been mucked with by Enki. And, you know, all things at the end of this will be restored. Okay? And this is another reason why your, you know, commerce is not going to make it. Your commerce isn't going to make it. It's not going to survive. It's not going to make it. Okay. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I believe from looking at some of the other scriptures, I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven. Let's talk about that for a minute. And it says, the servant of the householders came to him, and he said, Sir, didst thou sow good seed in thy field? Whence then has tares? Why does it have tares? And he said unto them, the enemy has done this. And the servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay, lest haply, while ye gather up the tares, ye root up the good wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, gather first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, to enrich the soil, but gather the wheat into my barn. Well, there you go. So we've all heard that one, right? So some of you have a lot of answering to do for it. Now, mostly we're talking about the elite. But anybody whose name that you know, in other words, like you turn on the TV and you go, okay, I know that name, I know that name, I know that name, I know that name. All those people that you know, they're on there because they work for Satan. That's who they work for. They work for Satan. Marduk, Enki, Enlil. Now, some people will debate over whether Enki is one of them, but he did some very bad things, and he has to be judged for what he's done. So we'll see at the end of this what he's done. He claims that he loves mankind. Well, we'll see about that. We will get to see about that. Enlils claims he, de-arms and deactivates these nuclear missiles because he's trying to save mankind. Well, no, he's trying to save his own butt. He lives in a hole in the North Pole, and it will quite honestly affect him. Honestly, it will affect him. So, all of these people are going to be judged. They're not without judgment. Just know that. They are not gods. They want to continue to live because they don't want to be judged right now. They're hoping that they can pull something together that's positive before they get judged. Now, albeit that they try to make it look like they're ruining us, the truth is that they may be pushing us to a better society. You can say, oh, I don't believe that. The government's going to shut down the this, the that, the so on, the so forth. Let me tell you something. Nothing you can do is going to save capitalism. It is an experiment. It is going to die the death. We are going to go to a socialism, probably a communism, and honestly, capitalism isn't going to make it. Maybe it's time that those who survive this time are able to live their lives without fear under natural law. And I think it's more possible to bring those type of societies in. I mean, look at the word communism. Look at the word communal. What's the disaster in that? Again, all of these things have to be worked out for the better. What we don't want here is we don't want the new boss to be the same as the old boss, because nothing is ever going to get solved with them. They can't solve anything. If they could, they would. It's time for there to be a hominid-based person, who is like, Joseph, who is like Jacob, who is like Isaac, who is like Abraham, in it that they were great negotiators. They were able to negotiate the peace. Well, Jacob never forgave his sons, Simeon and Levi, and that's your Levitical priesthood. And that's your Catholic Church right there. Because, in the matter of his daughter, Dinah, they interfered with his negotiations and slew an entire city, men, women, and children. Okay, enough of that. We know you by your fruit. We can know you by the fruit that you eat. We can literally sit at dinner with you and we can know who you are. Yeah, that's all we got to do. You don't have to open your mouth. All we have to do is see what you shovel in your gullet. Okay? That's it. That's all that's necessary. All right, I am going to talk to you about parasites. You've been told, oh. You got to fast. If you're going to get rid of your parasites, you got to fast. Not so. These parasites have assailed you for most of your life, and sometimes even before you were born. They were right there in your womb, your mother's womb, with you. Okay? Oh, goody. Here's another human. Oh, goody. Let's take him over so he'll never know what it looks like to be not droned into superstition and, dogma, and listening to a government that only has its own, you know, uh, you know, only thinks about itself. Ooh, let's do it from the beginning. Let's get them in the womb. And then more than likely, I can't prove this yet, but one day I will, because at some point I prove everything. If I want to know, I will know it. We'll find out what's been going on in them hospitals after those babies are taken from their mother's arms by them witches. Okay, them Amazon witches that are willing to give you the jibby jab and everything else they give you to basically bump you off and get rid of you. It's the equivalent of a Nazi concentration camp today. And it is absolutely mandated and legalized through Obamacare. If Obama is not president, if he is not the acting, deciding, intellectual president right now, you telling me it's Joe Biden? There's only one reason that they're not getting rid of that guy. And that's because he's a puppet for Obama. That's it. That's the only thing that it could be. And I go back to them days where, we heard, yes, we can. And we play that backwards and it's thank you, Satan. Thank you, Satan. And we, heard Barack Obama means lightning falling from heaven. Hello, people. I watched Trump's, hour plus interview the other day, and I saw a negotiator. That's Abraham. That's Isaac. That's Jacob. That's Joseph, the master of them all. I mean, he can negotiate, and you can't run over him either. That was fantastic. That interview that he gave with that woman. So the thing is what I worry about is that you should worry about this too. They will literally assassinate him and turn him into a clone. And don't think for a second that he's not the first one. Don't think for a second. So let's talk about what I do, okay? What I am currently doing, I'll tell you this. This is called Prosecura. And it says here, commonly known as Prosi, the safest, most effective medication available for treating flukes. It does not stress your pond fish or your filter. Prosecura is also an excellent treatment for internal worms, in goldfish and koi, and in tropical fish. So this is fish medicine. You take it out. It is a powder. You get 1/8 of a teaspoon. You take it. Some people will say, well, you need to take that 3 times a day. I take it once a day. Do I believe that you have to really go after your parasites? Absolutely. I don't believe, though I take this every day, Para-End, which is basically a proprietary diatomaceous earth, black walnut, hulls, sweet wormwood, clove bud, olive leaf extract, garlic powder, grapefruit seed, golden seal root extract, ginger root, turmeric root, all them things we know. And it's probably one of the best ones. But taking one of these a day is not going to get rid of your parasites, okay? So they get the blitzkrieg from me. Now let's look at what else I do. I take the seraptase because it keeps the little buggers from hanging on to the walls of your gut. See, I want them to fall down into the acids. That's where I want them to go. This will do the trick. I take Shilajit, okay? Shilajit capsule, a vegetarian capsule. This is from an Indian, Ayurvedic Indian store. Very inexpensive. People, if you don't have the money to pay for some of these supplements, go to your Indian store. You'll be able to afford it. There'll be no excuses. You'll be able to afford it at an Indian store. And talk to them and get used to knowing what they use, because let me tell you something, their medicine is way older than ours. Way older. So, now, let's move on. This is metronidazole. Metronidazole. You can see it. It's for fish. It's for fish. Okay. Panicure, fenbendazole. Let's look at that. See, let that. Okay, it's not going to focus in for me. The camera's not. But it says right underneath there, fenbendazole. This is the fenbendazole that they use in goat dewormer. I've been using this for years. Okay. Horse paste. This is my ivermectin. It says right on Ivermax is what it says. Right underneath it. I don't know if you can see it, but it'll say ivermectin paste. Okay, now, that's what I'm doing right now. I do take some vitamins. I happen to know now, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that I was getting diabetes. Now, diabetes is the gateway to all the other, diseases. Diseases. If you have a disease, heart disease, circulation, cancer, diabetes is the gateway to that. Well, I could see, because I had an injury on one of my legs, I could see that one of my feet were having trouble. And I could see that I began to have neuropathy in my feet. So I have a foot massager, and I've had them all. But this one's electromagnetic. It's a blue light, electromagnetic foot pulse, electric pulse. Probably cost me $30 from Amazon. And I got the one with the little suction cups, the little gel cups that you can connect to it too, and you can add those additionally. And let me tell you, they work a lot better than the foot pad. So I feel like I hit the jackpot when it comes to foot massagers. And I recommend that. Now, some of the things that I take for specifically my diabetes, every day I take alpha lipoic acid. I take photamine, vanadium, chromium, although I don't take a lot of chromium. Sometimes I don't take it every day. I take milk thistle. I take berberine. I have one of the highest quality berberines. Take the shilajit that I showed you, and I take niacin, which is hexaniatin, the non-flush version. So that's every day. Then, along with those things I just showed you, I take at another time during the day, I take L-arginine and orthogonine, which basically, that is something that you have to have because you don't want a Herxheimer, which is where you have you basically have all the bugs and the worms and the slugs and the flukes and everything else. They all take a dump at once. When they do that, they're doing it on purpose to pay you back for sticking it to them because they're trying to survive, okay? So some of them don't want to leave. They just would rather fight it out. And so that's what they do. They also lay eggs at the same time. When they feel like they're dying, they use the bathroom and lay eggs. Yeah. So you're in a war whether you believe it or not. So L-arginine and orthodine, what that will do is that will literally ammonia is what they poo. So if you take that L-arginine and orthodine, it will literally neutralize it, so you won't get a Herxheimer. But I also take cloves. Okay, I take Mimosa pudica. I take wormwood, the old-fashioned wormwood. I have the walnut tincture and the clove pills, but you see, I also take it in another form. So I'm doing this a couple of times a day, plus my horse paste, plus my fish drugs. And I've got yeast removal, and I've got, I told you about the serapeptase. Now, let me read this to you if I can find this. This is what I ordered from All Day Chemist. This is the order that I just made. I ordered 100 ivermectins, 12 milligram, $100. Ordered Tenaba, which is the tenadazole, which is what I showed you. Well, I thought I showed it to you. I don't see it now. But the tenadazole, you can look it up. I bought 500 milligrams, 60 tablets, which I can probably break in half and take, 3 times a day. That was $18. Mebex, which is mebendazole, you can take that. That's the 100 milligrams. That's $24. Forkin, which is fluconazole. And I do have some fish fluconazole. Bottom line is you have a right to get rid of parasites. You have a right to do that. Now, once you've done that, don't make the mistake of continuing to put poisons into your body so that you can eat what you want to eat. All you people that are going to do that, let me tell you in advance, your plan will not work. There will come a day where you have poisoned yourself because you've taken too much of this. It is true, you have to blitzkrieg them and get them out, okay? But you cannot plan to do this for life. And if you take these ways to get them out, they will come out, when they leave and you continue to eat the same problems, they will come back sevenfold. Let's see if we can find that. I can't be sure that we can find that, but it is very possible that we can find it. Let's see. There's a certain householder who planted a vineyard and he hedged it around and about and he digged it in a wine press and he built it into a tower. Okay, not that one. Okay. Well, all I'm going to tell you is that it's in there. They wanted you. Now they put it in there secretly, because they don't want everybody to know. They don't want everybody to know. See, they don't want to save you. They want to get rid of you because you're part of the problem. I know that people that are part of the problem watch my videos. Some of them do it in earnest. They truly like to be better. Whether or not they have the willpower to do what it takes, that'll be a different story. But they truly want to. And some of them may have originally had their, candlestick on the right side, on the righteous side. But you see, what happens is, you go through life and you fail the tests until you eventually fall into your fallen state. And then, it becomes harder and harder to dig yourself out of the hole that you have made for yourself. See, this is why I talk about natural law. Because all you got to do is imagine what is natural law. Do no harm to anybody else. Now, does that mean that you have to take crap off of everybody? No. No. Oftentimes I have lots of words with people. I still have unsettled business with the magistrate and the cop that hit me with a directed microwave energy weapon in my chest and caused me to have a heart attack. Right there in the building while they were trying to make me sign something. They weren't taking no chances. As soon as they handed it to me, whammo, in my chest. See how that works? Sign it. Sign it. Sign it so we can get out of here. Sign it. They're not making any bones about it. They're now using weapons on you. If they will use weapons on me at the courthouse, they tried to use hallucinogens in the water. The guy that was in charge of the canteen, he said, you're the only person in here that orders water. And I was ordering all I could get, and trust me, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. But I have no doubt they were putting hallucinogenics in the water, making us drink it. Why? Because they want you to take that ride wherever you go. In their place, right? Where they came from. You get it? So they want you outer darkness, outside the ice walls, or downstairs. They take you to where they go, where they live. Do you see? All them hallucinations, astro projecting trips. You got to ask yourself while you're astro projecting, what are they doing to your body? Are they letting your body fill up with more parasites? Well, that's the interpretation that I get from reading the Gospel of the Holy 12. So, what is it? Ezekiel 16:20. Shoot. Let me see. Ezekiel. No match. No match. Something's wrong. I should be able to connect up with something in my search. None of it is. Here we go. All right. Zeke. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is there's no explanation for this that I can't find it right now using my search engine on my computer. But what I'll tell you is we'll do it this way. Let's do it this way. So how we'll do it is we'll say, I am against those that teach my children to fly. Let's see. Maybe it'll pop up and it'll tell me where to find it. Oh, that's not right. It's saying Jeremiah 23:32. I've never found it there ever before. Here it is, Ezekiel 13:20. I'm against your magic charms, which you used to ensnare my people like birds, and I will tear them from your arms, and I will set free the people that you ensnare. Well, we need to read that whole thing right there. We don't need all these different. Let's go. Ezekiel 13:20. See if I can find it in my Ezekiel 13:20. Nope. It's not going to show me. Huh. Huh. I might be able to get it here. Let's see. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm sorry to take up all that time and not be able to find it. It's kind of annoying not being able to find your stuff. But I will tell you that it's talking about teaching my people to fly. How do they do that? That's shamanism. That's with mushrooms. That's with acacia. So who is not supposed to do that? Answer: the hominid people. They have a direct relationship with their deity, and their deity is going to be the sun. So just know that. And I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a name to call him sun. Call him soul. Do you really need to know anything else? I don't think so. I think when you talk about the sun, when you talk about the soul, he's going to know exactly. Now, is there one higher up than the sun? Absolutely. Likely there's more than one central sun. There's many. So just know that, in this realm, that is who we belong to. Since they're not from this realm and they've squatted here, they've got an opportunity to learn how to do things right. But if they don't learn how to do things right, they got to go back to where they came from. Now, they can stomp their feet, they can throw their tantrums like we see on TV now. But the bottom line is, it isn't going to matter. It isn't going to matter. The sun is going to receive you or not. That's up to you. Anyway, that is approximately, let's look at this. That's about 50 minutes. That's about all the time that I have. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.